We acknowledge that Tri-Cities Community Television operates on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coquitlam First Nation. We thank the Coquitlam who continue to live on these lands and care for them along with the waters and all that is above and below.
Mackin House Museum stands as one of Coquitlam's most important heritage landmarks. Today, it continues to serve as a place of learning, culture, and community connection. Tri-Cities Community TV was on site to take a closer look at what makes Mackin House a part of Coquitlam's identity. I'm Yuna Fahim, and this is our report.
Hello and welcome to Mackin House, Coquitlam Heritage. My name is Markus Fahner. I'm the interim ED and exhibition manager, and I just want to welcome you to our house and introduce what's going on. We're always really busy sharing different heritage, sharing different artifacts, and having wonderful events. Something for everyone, I would say. We have, you will see later on a little bit down there, sort of the lampions going up. We also always make sure that there's always something really nice and different in museum. I mean, the museum is in itself a static, but we always try to bring out new objects from our collection. Recently, we brought this beautiful picture. I hung it up, I think, 2 days ago. It's a tugboat, and it's the Mary Mackin, named after Henry Mackin's wife. We've got some other artworks that would have had graced the walls through the time of Henry Mackin and some of the other occupants in here. We'll see over here, we have some Edwardian sewing patterns that are really interesting because they can adjust. So as the child grows, you can make the arms longer, the skirt longer or something. And a sewing machine that probably would have not been in this house, especially not during Henry Mackin's time. It is of the period, but what we do is sort of kind of foreshadow what is happening upstairs. Upstairs, the rooms are more neutral, not this beautiful old Edwardian house, but we'll have more neutral rooms, which gives us the opportunity to have special exhibits. And I'd like to take you upstairs now for our special exhibits on hobbies, and that's what this is foreshadowing, sewing a hobby. So maybe if I can invite you to follow me upstairs, and then we'll look at the hobby display. Okay, follow me up. So now here we are in our other rooms. Some of the exhibits are in various rooms. Sometimes we contain an exhibit to just one room. This is another part of our hobby display. It started in the Victorian age, so a long time ago. It was very popular, mainly for women to do dolls. This is a very big doll that we recently, someone donated this doll to us, but it shows you these different hobbies. They will get these porcelain heads and hands, and then there's different tools and paints to style and paint the different sized dolls. I mean, she is particularly big. So now there's other things. We have a small display on taxidermy. Now taxidermy, I think sometimes people think, oh, this is a bit creepy. Now, however, taxidermy used to be way more important in the past. Nowadays you can see probably any animal that you like on YouTube or anywhere in the internet. But back in the day, to have a collection of stuffed animals would give people the ability to see animals that they might not easily see. And of course, people hunting would collect trophies and use then maybe some parts of the animal with taxidermy as a trophy. So it's an important part, especially also for museums. A lot of museums back in the day had large collections, from barn owls to other items. Now, when you come over here, I'm really happy to have this in our collection. We have a sizable pieces of quilts. And this one is really particularly interesting because it has all the signatures of all the women that worked on it. These are the women that would have lived around here and would have lived, their husbands most likely worked at Fraser Mills, which was really the important part, why this house, the house of the general sales manager, why this house is here. And the women would have worked on this quilt and they left us their signatures. Now, I think that is very, very significant, and I think it's so beautiful that we have this, because often in the past, the names of women have been either people purposely ignored, been forgotten or something. So just to have the names, even though we might not be able to say exactly who that person was, where they lived and what they exactly did, but at least the names are there. Having the names is, I think, a really, really important part to represent our community and truly represent and look into the past. What has been ignored and what should be pointed out. Then we have here I think a very unusual display. It's the sea goddess Mazu, and it started out that I contacted Monty Gisborne, and he fixes up I think like now he's working on an MG race car, so he's into vintage. I think he was in a newspaper with having a 1930s gangster car, and when I talked to him, I said like, oh, I would really like you for this exhibit on unusual hobbies. He said that his dream was always to own one of those Chinese junks. These are the sort of special boats that at one point were floating, a lot of them in Hong Kong in the harbor. Long story short, he found one out east, authentic one, renovated and brought it back here. So unfortunately, a boat is a little bit too big for my exhibit to have. So we have parts of the boat. We have a gong here. We have some of those fish, a Chinese caulking iron where you would be, if the boat is being sort of the planks, and then you could seal it up so that the boat is seaworthy. And then really, really important, the statue of Mazu, a sea goddess, the protector of sailors and fishermen. And I really invite you to come here and read more about Monty's story, how he fixed up the boat. There's also a little video that goes along really nicely, and the story about Mazu. So now let's go to the other room. So here we are in actually one of our newest display rooms. It used to be a display room, but then for a while it was an office, and then recently we were able to put it back as a display. So this is a mixture that we're displaying in here. It actually, fun fact, it used to be a bathroom. Behind there is actually a sink still left. It's hard to see now, but this window used to be a door, and there used to be a wraparound porch where people would sleep in summer. King Edward was right down there. Wasn't there, it was just boards. It was sort of like a fire lane. It was really not as busy as it is right now, so people could sleep there and enjoy the summer breeze. The hobby display really sort of spills in a little bit, and I'll give you an idea how also things come about. So our former president of the board, Ann Carlson, she is an avid knitter, and I thought like, wow, this is wonderful. So she gave me some parts for the hobby display to have a knitting display as well. So that's how things come about, that we also like either people that we know or people that approach us that are able to give us, loan us different things, because the museum, though we have a large collection, of course we don't have everything. However, which ties a bit to the science fiction thing, we are actually one of a very, very big toy museum. In the 2000s, we got a large grant and a lot of toys were purchased. And so I brought some of those beautiful toys back. And some of them I think are quite unusual. Most of us probably would have not had something like this, like a big life-size loom, not life-size, but a big large loom, a grand piano for the kids to play, and then there's some dolls, some boys' own and girls' own kind of adventure books, and then this piece, this rocking horse, which I think is pretty cool. It's one of the oldest items we actually have. 1887 is a rocking horse that was made in Germany, and I think what is really exciting about this, it also shows you how connected the world was already back then, right? So they're getting toys from, well, here the rocking horse from Germany. We have a lot of metal toys like trains and stuff, and they were all made in Japan. So I really like this connection of actually, you know, like back in the day when you think like, well, Coquitlam, you know, maybe it was just kind of completely cut off or people didn't travel much. No, but there's a lot of, well, people of course coming and settling here, bringing items with them, but also things are being purchased and brought over and to enrich our lives and our community. There are 3 dolls from our collection. As I said, we have a lot of dolls. They're really quite beautiful. I think for the modern viewer, they sort of kind of maybe look a little bit disturbing because they are often sort of have very fixed expressions, might not look, have sort of a mix between lifelike and not lifelike. So now we are here in our train station, 1910, Coquitlam's first train station. Of course, it's never set here at Heritage Square. It's moved a couple of times in its time. We're sitting sort of further out there. I guess vaguely like near what people now know as IKEA. At one point it was in Blue Mountain Park. Well, now it's here, and so it displays what a train station would have looked like with the telegraph key. Very, very popular. What people love is the message hoop. Is this wooden loop there, communicate from station master to train. They'll tap out the message, fix it to the hoop, and then hold it out, and then the conductor on the train, if they don't stop anymore, snatches it up with his elbow and takes the message hoop in, removes the message, and then of course throws the hoop out. So that's kind of actually been practiced for quite a while. I think like in some countries, not here, but till the 70s, it was actually even used to communicate from 2 passing trains. So they would hold it out and could exchange messages before the advent of radio communication, which was very important. So we have the old station here, how it started at one point, like, you know, those 109 Franco-Canadian workers that worked at Mayardville. Well, they might have mainly arrived here, slept later on in railway cars because there wasn't enough room for them initially. And so that's how it starts. And then this, I don't know, I mean, like, that's maybe not how it ended, but this was equally really, really significant for our region here, for Coquitlam. That's the Lafarge Lake Douglas station, and behind it, hard to see, is the Evering Culture Center. And I'm really, really excited that we got this. We were approached by the Vancouver Lego Club. They assembled it using sort of 250 hours of intense work. 40,000 bricks are used to make this. It was Translinks contracted them to build this for the opening of the train station. It's set, actually, some of you might have seen it. I remember when they opened the station, you know, we were all excited because now it links you to Vancouver and other places, making life quite easy, also kind of cutting down on congestion. So it was a really important and beautiful thing. So that's why I think I'm really excited to have the old and the new sort of sitting side by side. And if you're not into these kind of, I don't know, urban planning and the history, surely most people are super excited about Lego, and it is a wonderful piece. There is someone, like, I think he's proposing to his sweetheart. There is a hot dog being sold. The frog, all of us probably know the frog that's under the train station. The frog is there. The 188 bus, well, I know I sat on that bus countless times, so I think that's really nice to see it, and the amount of detail is amazing. So now that is here and for everyone to see at all times. We have also changed up a little bit, so you can now either walk up to the train station. If it's locked, you just ring the bell and then we can come out, or of course you can ideally maybe go to Mackin House, visit us, have a little look around, and then later on we take you to the train station throughout the year. It used to be shut in winter, but this is really too beautiful to be only visible for a few months or something, so it'll be there on display all the time. Yeah, I'm really excited about having this here in the train station. Okay, this really concludes our short little tour of the museum. I can only invite you to come. We have guided tours, there's information panels, there's really a lot to see of small artifacts that are fascinating, that show our history and tie us really to this place, right? That's what this museum or a museum is about. It ties you, it grounds you to community and to our past. Currently or recently, this Friday, it concluded, we had a workshop on how to record your memory. So we do things like this as well, because I can only encourage everyone. I mean, we will do this workshop probably again, but it's not about promoting, but collect your memories of your grandparents, of your parents. It's so important. It grounds us and it connects us. I'm always pointing this out. It's now been a while, but I think people might not yet fully aware. We have changed opening hours for a while now. So Thursdays, we're actually open from 2 to 8, and on Friday from 3 to 9. So that gives literally everyone the chance to come and see this beautiful museum. So if you're working after work, well, swing by, have a look at it. And on many evenings, we have some special events going on. So sometimes we had like button making. We recently, as I mentioned, had the memory workshop. There was a postcard society. So there's many differences. Some of those hobbyists will come and do a presentation of their hobby. We have a bookbinder. We had a bookbinding workshop going on, sort of a simple bookbinding workshop. So there's quite a few things going on either Thursday or Friday. But even on a day when there's nothing going on, it's always worthwhile to come, have a look at the Lego display, have a look at some of the artifacts. So I always invite you to come back, and we're always changing up things. We have a lot in our collection where we have different items coming up. Thank you. Hope to see you again. Okay. Okay. So that concludes our visit to the train station, to beautiful Mackin House. So I always invite you, come back to Mackin House. There's lots to see, lots to ground you to this place and see where you live in this community. Thank you, and I'll hope I'll see you soon.